Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of a 2003 Triango Tribute. Start my walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. Using the habitation key, you've got your freshwater fill-up point here. So open the lever, and then this here, if you just twist, release the cap, put your hose pipe in there. So carry your hose pipe with some hose pipe connection ends, as it's mainly just a brass tap on most sites. Pop the hose into there, either wait until it overflows, or you can look inside and see how much water you do have on board at any one time. Then you just pop the cover back in to seal the infill. And then here you do have a cover, so you travel around with the cover on, lift the cover off to heat the water on gas. So this is the flue for the hot water system, and it's gas only hot water system. So you've got to take the cover off to allow the fumes out. If this cover was to be left on, it will fail and come up with a red light indicating that it's not lit because the cover's blocking the fumes from exiting the vehicle. Best place to put this is probably in the driver's door pocket or the gas locker, so that when you're doing your checks before leaving the site, you would pop this back on. You've got your mains connection point, so this is where you tweak the vehicle up. So you get your hook-up lead, lift the collar, expose the ends and slide on. Hook the vehicle up first and then the sight, and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle, because we wouldn't want you to be exposed to walking around with a live lead. At the back you've got your fridge vents, and then at the back of the vehicle you've got your high level brake light, your tow bar with 7-pin electrics. And then if we open the doors, you've got your gas locker, so you can fit a 6kg propane bottle in here. This has got a bottle top regulator on, so you would twist so it's right hand to tighten, or should I say left hand to tighten, right hand to loosen, and then you turn the bottle on and off from the top. Using the straps behind, push the bottle into the corner of the locker and then strap the bottle in, and always turn the bottle off before you drive. And you do have space to get another one in there. As you can see, there's been another one in there at some point. You've got your owner winding handle that lives at the back, which you can wind your owner out. And then coming down the passenger side, so you've got your, using your habitation key again, which is a Thetford habitation key. This is your cassette locker. So making sure that the blade's closed, you'll be able to press the orange tab and slide the cassette free of the vehicle. Carry the cassette to your disposal point, which is near your toilet block. Take the cap off. Press the yellow button, tip out. Once you've tipped out, there's normally a tap there. This is when you'd rinse the cassette out, so pop some water in, pop the cap back on, give it a shake, press the yellow button again and tip out. And then if you're using the blue or the green liquid chemical, a cap full straight into here and it's good to go. If you are using the new form, which is the tablets, you put a pint of water in, which you can do either with the cassette out, or you can pop it in completely bone dry. Flush a pint of water in, followed by a sachet, so they're in a cellophane sachet. One tablet, it'll break down in with the water into the liquid, and it would be one tablet every cassette change, or a capful, which is equivalent to 120 millilitres. Put your electric step there, so that'll come out via the switch, and you can switch it to go back in. And then on the front wing you do have your diesel filler, so you open the diesel and you'll be able to fill with fuel. So it's a lockable diesel cap. You release the bonnet underneath the driver's steering wheel. There's a lever, pull the lever, lift the bonnet, and in here you have your battery, So you've got your negative and positive terminal at the back, your brake fluid, your power steering fluid, your engine oil, your dipstick, your weight plate, and your coolant here, and your screen washers just beside the passenger headlight. So this is your 12 volt control panel. So if you're hooked up like we are now, you'll get the light on the 230 volt. You can press test and it'll view the leisure battery reading and fresh water. When this light comes on, it indicates that the waste is full. And you can press test again, it'll go over the carb battery and show you the carb. So when these lights move, trailer is the leisure battery, truck is the carb battery. And then you've got these three switches. So you've got the master switch of the lights, which are all then individually switched around the van. You've got the awning light, which is the light above the sliding door, and you've got the pump, which you would put on should you have enough water in the tank, and this will pressurize the toilet, the shower and the kitchen sink. And you do have in the corner a 12 volt point, so you can put a 12 volt adapter in there and charge your devices. To lock the sliding door on an evening, you would just push the lever down and that'll lock the door, and then you'd open by pulling the lever. But you do have a window which will slide along and close with a fly screen and a blackout blind, and then to depart the two, pinch in the middle and they'll depart. Above the travelling seat with the belt, click the button in, got your telly shelf, so you've got 12 volt TV aerial, 230 volt socket. When hooked up, that'll work. And your seat belt is located just to the right hand side of that. Your freshwater tank is underneath this seat here, so you can gain access in the top to the freshwater tank, because you would fill from outside and it'll fill here, but you do have storage down the side of it. And you've got your heating pipes, so if you're storing any bedding or anything, stored there, and when the heating's on, it'll keep it nice and warm. You've got the battery pump and your boiler. So underneath this one, you do have your leisure battery in this concealed box. And you've got your boiler, so your boiler does two jobs: heats the vehicle and heats the water. Obviously down here you have your main battery fuse, but in the middle you have a drain down toggle, so it's a double jointed yellow toggle. So when it's lying on its side, this boiler is holding 10 litres of water. In the winter, to stop this water in the boiler from freezing, you need to lift it up. So what you need to do is just lift it up like so, so it's on end, standing up. Do it without any power on, so the pump doesn't kick in like it is now, because we've got the power on. It'll drain the 10 litres off directly out underneath the chassis. Then you'd open the fresh and the waste. You'd open all the taps within the vehicle, remove the shower head from the shower hose. This will stop any water from staying in the boiler in the lines, stop any air from building up. And then when you come to reuse the vehicle, shut the fresh and the waste from outside, shut the boiler drain down, so lie that back down, shut all the taps, fill the vehicle with water from the outside, come in, put the control panel on, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get a pressurized cold water feed straight away. Go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, you'll have no pressurized feed, it'll make all sorts of noises until you get a free flow of water from one hot tap. You do them all, then the system is primed, and all it's doing is it's filling this boiler up, so it's pushing the air out until it fills up with 10 litres of cold water. Then you can put the water on to test the water is becoming hot. But please drain it down, because if not, it's very expensive to repair or replace and isn't covered under warranty. On the face of the seat next to the oven in the kitchen, This is your diesel heater, so it's made by Webasto. You've got to have a quarter of a tank of diesel or more, and all you do is you set the temperature. So the max temperature here is 30 degrees. You set the temperature. A solid green light means it's working. A flashing green light means it's indicated a fault. So you would just need to turn it off. So that may be that you haven't got enough diesel in the tank, or the power's too low. But on a solid green light it's working, so you just turn it on to full, or the temperature that you want, and it'll heat the vehicle. But remember, have a quarter of a tank of diesel or more for this to work, because it's on a different height to the intake for the engine to stop you running out of diesel. And then you can hear there that the Webasto diesel heater's on, and it's getting to temperature around the vehicle, around the various different parts. Next to the curtain beside the window on the passenger driver's side of the vehicle, you do have your Truma boiler. So this is how you heat your water on gas. So it's off in the middle, 70 degrees, 50 degrees at the top. You'll hear a click in there, and you've got 70 degrees at the bottom. Should you get a little red light on here, that indicates one of two things: either it's not receiving gas, your cover's been left on, or you've run out of gas. So you just off in the middle, 50 degrees or 70 degrees. So depending on, so normally 50 for if you are showering in your own vehicle, and 70 if you are doing your dishes, but you can choose which temperature of water you want off this switch. So to work your oven, and or should I say your hob and your grill, push the igniter switch on the far left down, and then you can use there you are, and that is all for gas rings lit. And then you just knock the switch off to turn off the ignition. So that's 4 gas. Once you've had the gas on the hob, if you allow it to cool down before you put the hob top down, because you could shatter if it's too hot. And then below you've got the grill. If you just hold the knob in for a couple of seconds after it's lit, just to allow the thermocouple to get warm, and it will keep the gas supply coming through. Otherwise, if it's too cold, it'll just shut it off, and it'll think that you've mistakenly turned the gas on. Below you've got storage in here, and then below you've got gas taps. Any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. This is mainly for when the vehicle is serviced, to check that the gas is working accordingly.
What's the name?
So underneath the hob and grill, in the cupboard at the back, you've got a trip switch. So this is the main 240 trip switches. This is the hookup point. So if the vehicle was to trip out, you try this trip switch first before you try your sight, whether you've tripped the vehicle or you've tripped your main power supply. So to operate your fridge, you've got 3 sources. So this is your source selector. So at the top, that is off, and the next one down is mains electric. So this will operate on 230 volt, and it'll operate like a household fridge. So if you're on a site, you don't want to waste your gas, you want to use their hookup because that's what you've paid your fees for, you would use mains electric. If you are at home and you are pre-chilling it or getting the van ready for your trip, and you wanted to check your fridge and pre-chill it down, you'd use electric. Then once you've pre-chilled and you're moving from home to a site, and you've put your shopping in the night before and it's all chilled, you can go onto the battery, and as soon as the engine's started at the front, it'll get a feed from the engine which will turn it into a 12 volt cool box. So it'll just get a 12 volt feed, and it'll keep the shopping at the same temperature it was at when departing. And then if you're wild camping, you'd use the bottom one, which is the gas one. So you've got another flame, and you'll see it flashes until it stops flashing orange. That's when it's lit. So it'll flash as it's just purging the gas through until it stops flashing and it's lit. Here you have your temperature, so you have your min and your max. So depending on the temperature, you can set it to the temperature that you want. And as you can see there, the orange light has gone out and it's on gas, so that's it, lit on gas and operating. And then when you are winterizing the vehicle, so you've done all the water, all the taps, the boiler, it's very important that you clean your fridge out and then you leave the door open. So you can either leave the door open like so, or there's a catch on here, so you can just turn the catch and rest the door up against it, and this will stop the door from closing. But using the catch properly, you'd shut the door and put the travel catch on for when you're travelling. It'll stop the door from unexpectedly opening. Opposite the kitchen, you have this, on the washroom wall, you have this hatch which acts as more bench space for when you're doing the dishes or when you're serving and cooking. You've got a light here which you can turn on and off, but you can set this to come on when you open the back doors, obviously because this was in from factory with it being a Ducato van. That's your gas locker, so you can get in from the inside of the vehicle as well as opening the back doors. So if it's raining, you can change it without going outside, which is a brilliant idea. And you've got storage and some storage underneath the sink. This shows your water working, and it's getting nice and warm there with the water heater on. And to open your windows, pushing the button in and pulling the catch down, you can open it, push it all the way out to bring it in. And you do have fly screen, blackout blind, pinch in the middle to depart the two blinds, and that's the same on all windows. In the washroom area, you've got your toilet, so to operate your toilet, make sure the pump's on, press the blue button and you'll get your fresh water flush. Flush your toilet first, and then what you want to do is you want to, once you've flushed, to keep the seal of the blade lubricated and keep the top of the seal from getting dirty, you would open the blade, which is this grey lever in the corner here. So slide that to the right, you'll open the cassette, everything will then go into the cassette. Flush after use. If you're going to use any pink solution, if you buy the multi-packs of the blue and the pink, dilute the pink in a spray bottle, spray the bowl before you flush, and then slide this grey lever back to the left, which will shut the cassette. You'll then be able to get the cassette out the side of the vehicle. If it was to be open, you won't. You'll know what you've done and you'll have to come in and shut the cassette. But when it's full, it'll indicate on here by the person emptying the cassette. There'll be a light on there telling you that the cassette is full. Got toiletry holders, towel holder, put your toilet roll in there, some space for some toiletries and access to the pipework for the sink. And the sink shower head is all in one, so we'll pull this out, and then you would just have to hold the shower head and hand shower yourself if you were using the shower in the motorhome. But like I was saying, if you undo this and pull the hose out as far as it will come and lie it down in the shower tray, any water in here will not freeze and then it will not split the pipe and flood the vehicle. And then this will just slide all the way back down the neck of the tap. Same window, skylight, but it's a slide window, similar to the habitation door, and some more toiletry cabinet space up here. Lights, They've got one or they've got two, so they've got a brighter setting. So off's in the middle, one's to the left, two's to the right. And that's the same with most of the lights in the vehicle. But this one has two settings, the other ones just have one setting, but they do have a switch on these ones here, so you can turn them on and off from the top of the actual light unit. Down from the washroom you have the wardrobe, so you've got a hanging reel, you've got your TV amplifier in here, you've got your leg for your table which goes in the lounge floor, just at the front there, and you've got a tabletop here where the leg would attach to, and then underneath you've got storage. It's got a heater pipe in there, so anything that you want to keep warm, towels, bedding, again, great place to store it when the heating's on, it'll keep it nice and warm. So to make the lounge into a large bed, what you need to do is slide this seat forward and then turn the cushions, the backrests down. Lift this base cushion off first. You tend to find it's better that you can get these in more comfortably, and then put that one in. And then here you have a board, a bed board, which you'll find it in the wardrobe next to the table. That sits in there, and then the actual table itself sits near the entrance door between the two, so it fills the space in. Then you would use the cushions to fill the space in, and there you have a large bed. So it's a large double, if not a king size bed across the vehicle. And then to black the cab out on a night, you've got these cab curtains which come across. Your handbrake is down this side of the seat to the right. You've got a 5-speed gearbox with lifter collar and into reverse. Fan speed, temperature distribution, and then whether you're recirculating air, which would be at the left, or to the right if you're bringing fresh air in. Hazards, rear fog lights and heated mirrors, and then you've got a lockable glove box. And everything else is quite self-explanatory on the vehicle. Lights and indicators, mirror adjustment at the top, electric adjustment on the mirrors, electric windows, and then you would just push the same levers down on the cab to lock the passenger and driver door. And behind the driver's seat, in between the driver's seat and the lounge seat, lifting the cover off here, you do have the location of your 12-volt fuses, which do various 12-volt appliance, so it would be a good idea to carry some spare fuses with you in case one does blow. You can replenish the fuse, but this is where they are located within the vehicle.